Hello, welcome everybody. Come on in, come on in. Whew, that's a heavy sigh, right? Wow. Thank you everybody for joining me. My name's Mary Jane Tracy. I don't know what I was going to say there. I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and coming to you each day, trying to come to you each day and bringing you the 411 on the cosmos and just the energies and the lowdown of the energies of what's going on, and really helping you to guide you through the cray-cray of the world today. That's what we'll put it at. And I'm going to send out so much blessings down to the United States with the hurricanes that are happening in the United States, with the riots in Minneapolis. That was just horrific down there. To the shootings, it is just totally crazy right now. And it is just this, there is this intensity that is brewing, and it's amazing when you look at the grand scope. So if you stand back at the world and you look at the grand scope of the world scene, and the United States is this empire. It is an empire that is, the young kids on the block. It's the Wild West. That's what North America is. It is the Wild West. We think we know things, yet we don't. And this is where we are seeing, especially within the States, where things are erupting. Things are starting to really come in the forefront of our world and playing it out on a world stage. And when you look at the cosmos, when you look at the astrology, and as the astrology reflects to the energies that are going down in the world, it just is really amazing how things open up. So when we look at things like Chiron in Aries, when Chiron was in Aries, it was just 1 second. Steve, can you close my door, because I don't like the arguing behind me, and Olivia is loud. My daughter's loud. The energies of and that's Mars. That's Mars right there. If you heard that in the background, that's Mars. That's that Mars energy coming through. And Chiron, the last time it was there, and going through Aries, we had the end. We had the Vietnam War. We had things starting. Where the vets were coming home, and nobody loved vets. Now it's kind of reversed, because now the Army can do no wrong. And the Army, coming in and doing what it needs to do. Now it's also where the energies that are coming forth with this, and the disruptions that are coming in, is a reflection of our own inner selves. And we have to remember we are a collective. So whatever we put out there, our inner fears, our inner thoughts, that's what is there. That is that reflection. Okay? So whether you say, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect me, it's blah, it's this, it's that, it is. It is our reflection of our own fears, of our inner selves that is being erupted. It is the riot that we have within our own selves and within our own lives. Some may be very subconscious that you are not dealing with. A lot of it, might be just little things on the surface that are happening in and around you. But this is a reflection of our own selves, of the world, all of this. And with Mars and Aries, the thing is, it's like within Mars and Aries. So if you go back a few years ago, and how we thought about things. So, okay, I'm going to go back to the 70s. There's so many things that are coming in my head right now that they're just downloading me with. Going back to the 70s. So in the 70s, in the early 70s, it was like, oh, you're still married to him? Like, oh my God, divorce rates were on the rise as we were starting to come in the 70s. Women were really like looking at their marriage. Do I want to stay in this marriage? This is what, this is what's coming in. And then we go into the 80s, and the 80s is when this Pluto was in Libra, and we had Jupiter going across there. And so we had this energy coming in of really redefining our relationships and how our relationships were really defined. So in the early 80s is really came into a new definition of what relationships were. And we've been working on that definition for the last several years. So we've been working on a definition of what relationships are. Is it, do we live together? Are we married? Are we same sex? Are we, what are we, So the way that we relationships and the way that we dealt with relationships totally have changed and have brought them into the culture. The other part is that we have been since the 60s, and in the 60s was when the identification of self-esteem was established. Before the 60s, there was no identification of self-esteem. Like that is actually a very new concept from the 60s. So it's only like 50 years old. This concept of self-esteem, what you think about, I am worthy, I am not worthy, all of that was not a objective or was not put out there to our children and to ourselves until until the 60s. So it was a growth of identification. Who are you? Who do you identify with? Now we're coming to this hub, right? Of extremes of that, of who are you? What do you think? Right? Who do you belong to? It's like, even here, it's like if somebody, mentions that one Alberta group that wants to separate from Canada and stuff, WeExt or whatever the hell they're called, I don't know. But it's like, if you identify with them, it's like, oh, you're a white supremacist, or if you identify with that, that's, oh, you're that. So there is identification. And a lot of times when people identify, they come in with the feeling that is my truth. And this is where the Mars and in Aries fire coming in with Chiron. Not Chiron, Chiron's in Aries, but with Capricorn and with the earth energies. And right now we are in earth energies. The moon has entered into Capricorn. We have a lot of earth energies, and that Capricorn energy is sextiling over to the North Node. So here it comes with Jupiter. It's saying like, yeah, okay, I'm interested in that, or I'm not interested in that. I want to find out more information about that. And that energy with that Mars coming in with Saturn is saying to us, hey, beautiful, is saying to us, you know what? I don't want to listen to what you have to say, Capricorn. I don't want to listen to what you say. I don't have to go by your structures anymore. And that Mars is very Martian. It's a Martian energy. It's in Aries. It's home. And it's looking and it's saying, I am the warrior. I'm going to be out there and I'm going to fight this the way I need to fight this. Hence, we have people out, the NBA, they're walking out. Baseball, walking out. We're going to have football. They're probably not going to be starting. We have the only thing that hasn't come out is hockey, which I find interesting because hockey is more identified as Canadian as it is American, even though there is a lot of American teams. So that's going to be an interesting one. I think they're going to be the last one to walk out on this because people are wanting change. They're not wanting it, but the thing is that we have to come into an identification of what it is that you want for change. How do you want it? Because it's going to have to start at the grassroots. It's going to have to start at the grassroots. And a trigger that's going to bring in a huge trigger to all of this is Trump is speaking today at the national conference, at the Republican National Conference. Now, he's going to be talking, and it's going to be at the conference, but it's going to be on the world scene. And for a lot of people, that's not going to be something, for Canadians like, oh, I hate Trump. Americans, there's a lot of, when you go out to the world, he's seen as the devil caster. He's seen as all of this. But that speech or whatever he's going to say is going to have a huge activation on how things are going to go forward. Because right now we are in, today, as a general energy of today is very earth. We are in a very earth energy. And we are trying to redefine our earth, and we're moving into a grand trine in earth. We're moving into this energy of how do you define your world? And we're going to come into it even deeper in September, October, November. How do you really define it? And some people are like, fuck it. I don't know. I don't care anymore. I'm just like waiting for this all to be over. And those are the ones that are going to be put into the tumble dryer and tumbled out. And as we are heading in, and as we are coming into this energy of defining ourselves, and as Mars comes in, and Mars is slowing right down because it's going to be going retrograde, Jupiter will be going forward in September, and Saturn won't go forward until November. So we have this energy of saying, okay, how are we going to define ourselves? How is that we want to go forward? And lovely little Venus is by herself, and she's not getting any love. She wants love, and it's hard to get love from she usually gets along with Jupiter, but he's in his dad's house, and dad's house is, Saturn's there. Saturn is Kronos. He eats his children. He's out for himself. You Google Saturn, you will see some of the first pictures that come out, Saturn astrology. It's Kronos. And you got to think all of the energies that are coming up right now with, about children, about saving our children, about the pedophiles. And that's about eating our children. That's very Saturn. That's very Saturnian. Now, I know there's Capricorns out there just like, I don't eat my children. I'm not saying you eat your children. I'm saying that is the mythology of this energy that has to erupt and has to come to the surface. And that's what's happening. And today, for many of you, because I know I got a lot of Geminis out there, I have a lot of fire energy people out there too. When we come into this huge earth energy, it is like, we're just like, whoa. Because you have to come into grounding. It's like you have to come down to ground zero. And having to come down to ground zero means it's like, oh. And you might find that your energy is lagging, that you're feeling depleted. You might find that you're wanting to get things done, and you might be wanting to hide in your den. This is part of it. But this is where it's like, okay, you know what? I really can't hide in my den. I really have to get out there. I really have to do things. I really have to, this is my business. I can't just let it, I can't just, I want to just go hide away and let it slide. No, this is what I do. So I have to get up. I have to, get myself going and do my meditations and really allow myself to be there with all of this, and really allow myself to feel what that is, how that feels within inside my body. That's really getting in contact with your intuition. How do I feel today with this energy and with the moon going in Capricorn? How is this making me feel? So taking a moment and just putting your hand on your heart and just tuning into that beautiful moon energy and saying, okay, how does it feel to be in Capricorn? And the thing is that the moon, as he's in Capricorn, can see his house across the street because his house is Cancer. So he's seeing lovely little Venus over there, and he really wants to give her some love, right? And really wants to give her some energy. Yet it's difficult because ahead of him right now is, we got Jupiter, we have Pluto, and we have Saturn. So as he's coming in, he's just starting to dip his toe into the Capricorn energy. As he's coming in, it is starting to expose, because it's like an illuminating light. It's not a sunlight, it's an illuminating light that is going to start to create this grand trine. And that means that the moon is going to make aspects over to Uranus. Uranus is making aspects over to Mercury. And Mercury is going down, and the sun over to the moon. And that's going to be a grand trine in Earth. And a grand trine means that there are things we have to really look at. It's a trine. It's a big triangle, and it's saying, what is it that you need to work on with your structure? Let's start looking into this and bring that energy forth. And if I look, with the Capricorn or with the Taurus energy, and coming in with that Taurus energy, and because he's kind of like, I'm going to put him at the peak, the Taurus at the peak, right, of it. Opposite that is Scorpio. So I'm looking at the Scorpio, even though there's no planets in Scorpio right now, but Scorpio is saying, okay, there's some energy releasement that has to go through the Scorpio. And energy releasement through the Scorpio means, where's your truth and where are your boundaries? Where is your truth and where is your boundaries? Because the ruler, or the old ruler in Ayurvedic, or is Mars. Where is your truth when it comes to what you want and what you want to define? And bring that truth and that definition into whatever you are doing. Bringing that truth of who you are into your relationships, into your business, into your projects. And don't leave it at the door. And that brings up Mary Magdalene and her energies. Don't leave who you are at the door. Bring it all in. Bring in all who you are. Do not just take it off and say, okay, I don't, that part can stay. Bring in the truth of who you are in all that you do, and all that you say, and all that you be. Bring in that definition. This is where I know this is where chaos happens, but this is also where Kali comes in. This is where the goddess Kali comes in and says, you got to be your truth of who you are. And she's saying, look at the chaos that's happening, but the chaos in anything, when we need to have a change, a radical change, when we need this is when we need to shake things up. We need to shake all of that up. If we don't shake it up, if we don't do that, then how can you stand in your truth? How can you stand in the and live the way that you want to live? Live in that abundance. Live in that prosperity. Live in that love. If you're not living in your truth. And that's where this comes in. This energy is coming into us to come down, to come into our sanctuary. And look at our sanctuary, look at our truth, and say, yeah, you know what? What am I doing at this time? Where do I need to gain new perspective and insights into my life and into the world around us? Where do I need to start looking into and investigating more so I can put down my foundation? And in doing that, that doesn't mean that you're putting your foundation down and being an asshole. That doesn't mean you're putting your foundation down and being a dickhead and saying, I'm putting my foundation here, so fuck you all. That's not what it is. It's putting your foundation down. You're coming into love. When we have this energy coming in and the extremes, and I've been telling you, it's like the next 3 months are just going to be extremes of everything, because it's like when you are wanting to uncover something, when you are wanting to come into something, we have to scrape back the surface. And then there might be another layer and another layer. And in doing that, yeah, there is some nutty shit that comes up. There is a foundation that we have to go down to and redefine. And we're all having to do that. And that's where the frustration comes in. It's because we all have to redefine our structure. We all have to redefine the energies of going forward. And the extremes that are playing out, and especially in the United States. Now, the United States is not the only country that's having riots or disruptions. I mean, Beirut is having it, right? They're having to redefine their whole country. There's an oil spill not far from Beirut. They have to come in, and the people there have to say, who is responsible for this? Because the Japanese freighter that spilled the oil is registered in Panama. And so there is no responsibility. This is coming in, and people are starting to look and saying, no, someone has to take responsibility for this. There's 100% responsibility. You just can't destroy something and say, fuck it, I don't care, whatever, it's not my responsibility. This is where this energy, this is why Mars is coming in so fiercely and squaring off Capricorn and saying, yeah, there has to be something. We have to redefine it. But a lot, it's like, it is. It's like, this is like, and when it's all coming into this earth energy, because the only thing that's going to have fire is Aries. The only thing with fire is Aries. So that's just like, right? It's like, it's a tiger roaring. And it's saying we have to really start looking at it. And when Mars goes retrograde, and then we're going to be, I hate to say, when Mercury goes retrograde, so we're going to have a lot of redefining ourselves. And that's really where this year has been coming in, is redefining your platform, redefining your grounding, where it is that you want to set up. Where a lot of people are just like, I'm just going to go long. And that's, because it can be so overwhelming. That's why yesterday we were talking about the gardens, and we're talking about going to a rancher and talking to a rancher and finding out information from a rancher. And it is, yes, you can go out there, you can Google it, you can put it out on Facebook. Does anybody know a rancher who's selling cows that I could buy half a cow? Or, going out and going to farmer's market and buying bulk vegetables if you're not a gardener. So there's, and even looking into your area, I think there's a place called Good Food or something like that, or Good Community Food or Community Food, where you can get produce, and you can sign up and get produce here in Calgary for a very reasonable price. You can just tell them how many people in your family. So there's things like that are established, but you have to do your research. Gemini is like, okay, you want this, you got to do some research. You got to look into it. Maybe you got to put information out there on your Facebook page, or look and join. Here there's a local in my community. This just came out. I don't know where it is. Anyways, there's information on a local community app that you can go on there. And if you lose your cat, you can tell them about you lost your cat or or something. But it tells you what's going on in the community and the different things that are going on in the community. So, finding out about things like that is really going to be important. She's like, yeah, Gemini. Because the thing is that if it doesn't, the energies with Gemini, because the Gemini has the North Node, is saying, what is it that you want to consume? It's the head of the dragon. And the tail of the dragon is in Sagittarius. And what do you want to shit out? What do you want to consume? What is the information do you want? It's exactly, it is. There's tons of information out there, but you have to be willing to look. You have to be willing to get to the bottom. It's like last night, I ordered new Birkenstocks, but I did my research before I ordered from this company. I made sure, one, it's a Canadian company. They're in Quebec. They've been established for several years now. And they sell European shoes. And I went, holy shit, thank you. So I ordered it. I made sure that I was, where I'm ordering my stuff from. And this is the thing. It's like I did my little research. I went on there and I went on Yelp and I did all this stuff. And, that's what you do. And that's where this energy is coming in. The energy, and this is where it's coming in about responsibility. Like right now with that oil spill, and I can't remember. I know it starts with an M. This beautiful, pristine coastline it's actually this coastline was under protection, I believe, and it's a very unique coral coastline. And this tanker has been drifting towards it, and nobody was doing anything. And the people of the island is like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Like, how do we move this tanker out of the way? They don't have a tugboat. And they're like, well, and that's the whole thing. When you look at a lot of things get shipped in the sea, but a lot of these guys are buying, they're not buying brand new ships to be done. And it's quite cheap to do it, actually. And then they register in Panama, and as they register in Panama, they become a unknown company because it could be under any name because of the laws. They don't have to have a specific name. It could be, you could put down question mark company and whatever, and there you go, and then just collect the money, which is really sad. So there is no insurance. There is no nothing. They don't need insurance, but they can, bring oil. So this is where wake-up calls are happening all over, when it comes to our children. How many people are more aware about the toys they buy their children, more aware about the people and even being watchful of our kids? Women having to speak out and say, you know what? No, I don't, that's not the type of relationship I want, or that's not what I am looking for. Men having to be more responsible in how they go out on dates and how they treat women on dates. Right? It's not like you can go up and smack a woman on the ass anymore. Like that used to be like, oh yeah, I just smacked her, haha. And I know my mother, especially if somebody hit her butt, she would kill them, because that was total disrespect. And that's how I was raised. Like, you don't do that. You just don't. You don't grab me. You don't pull at me. And this is where this energy is coming in. You have respect, because I have respect for myself, right? So this earth energy is looking in the foundation of your values, of your morals, everything to do with the foundation of earth. It's the pentacles. So if you go into the tarots, it's the pentacles. What do you, your financial, your health, right? Your bone structure. That's what it's all about. This is bringing in a foundation. Because we have this, and it's, a lot of people, I know there's a few people who don't like Capricorns out there. But when we look, if we don't have the foundation of the Capricorn, or of the Virgo, or of the Taurus, Then we have that, then we go willy-nilly. Then we're all over, and then we get into too much. Because when Saturn and Pluto, or Saturn and Jupiter go into Aquarius, that's a lot of air. That's a whole nother kettle of fish of energy coming in. So we got air here, and we got Gemini air. So we have a lot of air energy coming in. And so when the air energy comes in, it'll be harder for us to ground. And that brings in a lot of really crazy, abstract, nutty energies that come in. Exactly. Exactly. And that's where a lot of sci-fi things. You're going to find, actually, it's going to be quite hilarious. Watch the fashion. I used to buy fashion magazines all the time. I was the one who'd buy the Vogue magazine, like now, because it'd be the fall one. It's the thickest magazine that Vogue puts out for all the fashions. And I used to have stacks, literally stacks and stacks of, because I wouldn't throw them away. And I had all the 17 magazines and all the Elle magazines. I loved Elle because it was multicultural, and there was different, exotic women in there, beautiful women, and with fashion. So what I would do is that I would try to find items at the thrift store, the dollar store, that I could imitate for fashion, because fashion was my thing. So bringing that fashion in, and you're going to find, because fashion is a reflection of who we are. If you watch the colors that are coming out, they're very muted. So there's a lot of beiges and browns and sort of blues coming out. Maybe have a splash of pink in there, but you're going to find some real funky fashion coming out, because people are going to be wanting to identify themselves in uniqueness. Wow, when in the beauty salon? Oh, when you're 16? Oh, I bet you that was fun. And going to the salon and the different things. So that's why you're going to be finding more, maybe, colored hair. So you might be finding really, I feel very sci-fi. So a lot of sci-fi. And just getting ideas on how to do your hair and what to do. And, that's a whole culture there too that is redefining itself. The fashion industry, makeup industry, it's all redefining it, because you're going to find a lot of emphasis for women on doing their eyes. So here's one. I'm just going to going off on a little topic here. Has anybody heard about soaping their eyebrows? It's a trend right now that you can soap your eyebrows, and especially a person who has hardly any eyebrows. Have hardly any eyebrows, or faded eyebrows, or very light eyebrows, and you can soap them, like there's soaping them, and it sort of gives them more of a definition. Look it up. It's a thing. It's very, and it gives somebody more of a definition. So it's soaping your eyebrows, but it works. So there's things that you're going to be finding that there's going to be where women are going to be doing more emphasis on their eyes. So new, crazier eyes. I just love it. I don't wear eyeshadow because I'm horrible at putting it on. And plus I don't want to take the time off, and I rub my eyes, and it's just, but when you see people who do their eyes and they're very and then their eyes just pop, love it. I wear mascara and I do my eyebrows, and but this is where we're going to find people that are going to start doing, or, things are going to be really redefining when it comes to our makeup and when it comes to our clothes. And you might find that where for the clothes, you can't do smoky, neither can I. It looks like a good concept. It's that's wonderful that you can do that, but I can't. You do it for me. My daughter can do it. But this is redefining how we, even for clothing. So think about how the clothing was in the 70s. One of the big, Paisley was big in the 70s. So Paisley, my mother had it was I don't know what kind, it must have been an acetate material that she had. And it was bright pink, and it had paisley, like gold on it. Very funky looking. And then she would wear, I think she had lime green pants with that. Like the hippies hobo style will kick back in. So, watch fashion, because fashion is a reflection of the world around us. So when you look at the fashion and you look at what's going on in fashion, that's a reflection. So if you look at how I look at it, okay, okay, we'll start with World War II. World War II fashion became very military, right? Very military looking, and very penciled skirts and hemlines. As we went into the 50s, we got poofy skirts and, more fitted top and little poofy things, and poodle skirts were a thing. Crinolines were a thing. So things were coming, fashion was getting like a little bit more freer, right? And even with the dresses of women. Then we hit into the 60s, and all of a sudden hemlines went up, and, we had tube tops, and so fashion started to change, and we got like really flowing stuff. Things were starting to flow. And in the 70s, we don't even like talking about the fashion of the 70s, because it just went to hell in a handbasket, with the craziness and the bell bottoms and the big crazy shoes and hair. Was that was very, coming into very craziness, right, with fashion. And then we got into the 80s, poof, her shoulders grew. Who didn't have a padded, like this would have had padding in it. Like it would have to have had padding into it, right? So we had padding in our shoulders because, women were having to redefine themselves and make a statement, right? So it reminds me of that Carol Burnett. There was Carol Burnett, a comedian, who had her sitcom, and then one of the things is that she wore these drapes and big shoulder pads coming up. And then coming into the 90s was kind of like becoming a little bit more, I don't know, mixed bag. And then the Bohemians kind of hit into when we were coming into the year 2000. So we got into a lot of the Bohemian energies and stuff. So now it's redefining it. I saw last year the fashion, a lot of it was the 70s and the colors and sort of the oranges and the browns and, different, pants that were coming in and how they were fitted, very short waisted with the bell bottoms and stuff. And I'm like, well, my my waist is under my boobs. So it's like, that doesn't go over. High waisted is like, oh, might as well just wear it all the way up to here, because you know what? That's just the way it goes with my body. But watching the fashion is interesting. And so as we're going into this Aquarius energy into 2021, we're going to find, and I feel like there's going to be kind of like a sci-fi kind of crazy abstract energy that's going to come in. And definitely the way that we are dealing computers, everything is going to be changing. So we're in this huge renovation right now. So this, being in a renovation, that means we are able to define and change and work with what it is that we want to change and work with. And allow ourselves to change and work with what we want to change and work with. And in doing that, you're going to find that, okay, you know what? I'm ready for whatever craziness that's coming out there and the craziness that's happening. And, my heart goes out to a lot of those people, a lot of people in the United States that, some of them are like, hey, yeah, no, we're fine here. This isn't affecting us, but it kind of does, because it all affects us all, and they're redefining it. And even when it comes to, with Canada, will Canada be opening its borders up anytime soon? No, not to the States. It won't be opening up its borders anytime soon. So we're going to find that things are going to be shut down for a while. So what does that mean? That has a lot to do with food supply. That has a lot to do with other essentials coming in and out of Canada and the United States. So it is going to bring in some nuttiness. And same with, there's an asteroid that NASA just found, and it's going to be really making its presence on the day of the election in the United States. I mean, you can't make this fucking shit up. Like, it's just like, what? What are the gods trying to tell us? Right? What are the gods trying to tell us? I know I don't want to close my window because it's the sun's coming in and it's just so beautiful. So you got to look at, what are the gods trying to tell us? What are the gods and the goddess trying to tell us in this world today? Like, how much more? I mean, besides, I mean, if somebody asks me, he goes, well, what about the aliens coming? The aliens are already here, buddy. They've been here for a while. So the aliens are already here. So we know they are. But how much more? Like, what do we need? What do we need to wake up with? What do you need in your life to wake up? Right? And it's, when people ask me if, for who's going to win, well, it's definitely not going to be the fucking Democrats. Sorry. I don't, it's not. It's not. As much as Trump has screwed things over, maybe with COVID, but it's not, there's going to be some crazy ass stuff. I mean, I do not want Biden in. Biden, Trump is an idiot to your face. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I eat cheeseburgers, right? Biden is like, oh, I'm a vegetarian. And then he'll go back in the back there and eat a cheeseburger. That's the way I see Biden. He's not going to eat the cheeseburger in front of you. I'm eating the veggie burger with the gluten-free bun. And then in the back, he's like, rah, 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 I'm a hamburger. It's just like, so this is where we're going to find where radical energy is going to come in. There's even going to be a new definition on how, even in Canada, when it comes to political parties, and the definition on what needs to be done. So, but it starts at grassroots, people. It starts at grassroots. It starts in your community and how you want to define it, and in your own home. That's where it starts. Oh, we got so much. It's like, oh my God, we got so much work to do. Can we go back to bed? Can we just sleep through all this earth energy? That's how I feel sometimes. So, the 21-day meditation starts September 1st. I feel it's an important meditation to do. It is a Kundalini meditation that we're going to be doing. And just let me see if I can pull up the music for it and show you the music I'm going to be doing it. Oh, hold on. Let's go there. No, hang on. Bear with me. Pulling up music, people. This one. No, let's see if I can share this. I don't know if you guys can hear this. This is a song. This is Adu Gure Name. It is one for the heart. And it is one that we will be doing for the 21-day meditation. We'll be doing this for 11 minutes. And this meditation is that we come into prayer position. And on each verse, we are going out and then coming back in. So we're projecting our heart out and then bringing the protection back in. So we're doing this and we're bringing this energy back in to our heart. This this energy of creating this harmony within our heart. This is a beautiful mantra, and especially you can do this within and even within the 4 directions, and do it and turn towards each of the directions and bringing in that energy. It is such a powerful mantra that we are doing, and the mantra is for the projection and projection of the heart. This mantra is it builds an arc line and protection, creating a field of protection around you. It gives you strength and self-confidence. Practicing this mantra, you balance your 10 bodies, building wisdom and protection, and building a magnetic personality. The meditation also opens the heart chakra and sends the energy of love into the universe. We all need to be in a safe space, and safety is a huge word in our world today. You know, when you talk to people, they say, are you safe? You know, be safe. So this is a protected space, and your heart will be given the strength of projection to send its love far and wide. This meditation builds the arc, creating a field of protection around you. It gives you strength and self-confidence in practicing this meditation, and you balance the 10 bodies, building wisdom, protection, and the building of the magnetic personality. And the mantra surrounds the magnetic field with the protection of light. And this beautiful mantra, as you are doing it, and I mean, we can begin with 3-minute practice and gradually increasing to 22 minutes. And the maximum length of this meditation is 31 minutes. We do not go past 31 minutes at all. And what it means is adugre name means you extend the arms out and you come out to a 60-degree angle. Dugre name, you come back and then you do it again. And sakure name, you do it again, you bring it back, the palms back, and siri gure dev name, you go back out again. This is allowing ourselves to build a beautiful, positive energy. And it is a 21-day meditation. It starts September 1st. We're going to be doing that. I'm going to be starting at 6 a.m. It's going to be live, and then it's going to be, and it's recorded, and it'll be sent to you. And it's $75. Journey Club is starting. And those who join Journey Club and sign up for Journey Club will get the 21-day meditation for free. The Journey Club is an 8-week discovery that we meet each week for 8 weeks of discovering self, discovering your values, how you want to build your platform, how you want to build your energy, and bringing in the safety of love around you, and to have that safety of love around you. And then at the end of the month, we also have Reiki level 1 and 2 that are coming in. Journey Club and Reiki do have payment plans. So if you wish to join Journey Club, it is $444. And that's Canadian. All my prices are in Canadian for my beautiful American friends. So it's basically you get 30% off with it when you're paying into exchange, with the Canadian dollar. So this is where you can do payment plans with that. And same with the Reiki class, it is online, and I teach level 1 and level 2 online. And it's not in person. So, but we go through and we talk about the energies, and I throw in a little bit of astrology in there to give you some understanding on how that person's energetic body, might be picking up or might be reflecting things, depending on what their sign is. So giving you a little basis with that. And the Reiki class is a certificate class, and it's $222. So, and doing those classes is something that I really, for September, and going towards as we go into the latter part of the year. I think they are something that's going to be helpful in building the foundation and building a foundation. The 21-day meditation is coming in as we are heading into September and going up to the fall equinox and bringing in, because that fall equinox is bringing in a transition and change because we're heading into Libra energy, and the Libra energy is really going to take things for a swing for us. So I'm really wanting to help people to build a stronger foundation and to build a practice of love into their life, and to be that spiritual director that can help you and guide you upon your path. So if any of my classes, if you are interested in any of them, you can go to, if you want payment plans, get a hold of me personally, and we can do that. But otherwise, you can go to and go to thegurumama.com, and they're all up there on that website. And the payments are there. You could just plop. This is what I'm going to do. So definitely. And this is coming into my last week of doing readings on a sliding scale. We'll see. I mean, I still, and these are online readings only. And my sliding scale right now is that you choose a price, and the price goes from $75 to $160, your choice. Same reading, but it goes on that sliding scale. So, so to look at the energies of the sliding scale. So, anyways, they wouldn't let me. I don't know why. Sometimes Periscope acts up. So sometimes Periscope, like they just said I was spamming. I wasn't spamming. Whatever. So anyways, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to send you out with loads of love. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Blessed be, everybody. And let's build a foundation that's really funky. Blessings.